My mother went to work when she was 15 years old. She had to leave school. She had to help support her mother and two sisters and a brother. Her mother was a widow and had lost all her money in the midst of the Depression. She went to work for a company called J.W. Johnson, who was a silverware wholesaler in downtown Manhattan. And she worked there, and she met my father, Michael Fina, at that job. They were both working in the silver wholesale business. 1935, my father asked my mother if she would like to come to work for him. He wanted to go into business for himself. He needed $500 to make up the working capital needed. A few days later, she came back to my father and said, I have the $500, but I'm not lending it to you, and I want to be a partner with you.
It's 15 years after women's suffrage, which is really a remarkable thing that she was able to think that she would have the capabilities to go into business, but because she had gone to work so young and had worked for quite a few years when she was given this offer, she really knew that she could do it. She had been the bookkeeper for multiple companies, and my grandfather, as the salesperson, she knew that she had the business smarts to go into business.
I mean, it was almost unheard of in 1935 for a woman to be so brazen to ask a question like that. So Rose Fina was an amazing woman, and one of the first, I think, great female entrepreneurs when I think about it. My mother handled the back office, the invoices, the purchasing, the bank reconciliations, anything to do with operations. My father was a salesman. So it was a good combination.
She had a personality that was very commanding. When she walked in a room and started speaking, everybody stood at attention and all heads turned, and she was in charge.
A business that was built with a lot of hard work, but also a lot of love from my parents. And it was a natural step for my brother and I to enter the business. We really never thought about anything else.
My dad and my uncle, George and Charlie, they worked together with a magic that just can't be described. They were brothers. They shared a room together when they were growing up. They were best friends. They were business partners, and they really ran the business together. And my father worked tremendous hours, as did my uncle. They worked side by side with their parents. And the business was always something that was just part of everyday life. It was part of the family. It was part of discussions at night, over dinner, or on the holidays, on the weekends. It was just always around.
My brother actually was the force behind the jewelry business, and he basically operated and merchandised and actually sold jewelry to our customers.
And then when we moved to Fifth Avenue from 47th Street, we decided we were going to put a little bit more emphasis and effort into the jewelry business. We had a great opportunity to take a very small space that was next to us, and we took it and figured, what are we going to do with it? And we just kind of went back and forth around the table and came up with ideas, and originally it was going to be a watch gallery. And then we had a consultant that was working with us and said, you know, you're in the bridal business. Why wouldn't you put engagement rings and wedding bands there? It's a natural evolution for your customers. Over the last 8, 9 years, you know, our jewelry business has just grown and grown and grown and grown. by leaps and bounds. We've got 17, 18 of the most well-known bridal jewelry designers that exist. We have many exclusives, and we offer something different to our customers that they don't really see from any other store in New York.
And by working hand in hand with our brand partners, we were able to create a shopping environment that is so unique. There is no other store like this in the country, and I would venture to say in the world.
And then, as the second generation passed the baton to the third generation, I have 3 nephews that are in the business, and a daughter, Ashley, who every time I think of my mother, I think of Ashley.
It is really, in my mind, the highest compliment when someone makes a comparison between me and my grandmother, because she was, in everyone who knew her's mind, the most unique woman of her time. And she really was incredibly ambitious and incredibly kind, and to be able to have that type of balance is not easy, but it really is what drove the success of the company. Today, it's very unusual to not only have a third generation business, but a third generation business that is for the second time being run by a woman.